This is KRP, Ken's Random Podcast.
Thanks for joining me for episode 38 of KRP, Ken's Random Podcast. I'd like to start off with a shout out to the gentleman who found and returned my wallet in the Super One parking lot. I don't know how I dropped it, but this gentleman checked my ID to determine if the wallet belonged to anyone still in the parking lot and chased me down before I left. Nice to see there's still honest people in the world. Later on in this podcast, I'll tell you about proposals for bat parking lots. I see the Postal Service has suspended service in a Santa Monica neighborhood because of attacks on mail carriers and vandalism of post office delivery trucks. If we could determine who votes for defunding police on local election ballots in that area, maybe we could assign crackheads to answer 911 calls and deliver the mail. Once again, someone in the state legislature is doing busy work with vehicle regulations. I recently saw that one lawmaker wants to cite drivers who have the front ends of their pickup trucks raised 3 inches or more. What? Like we don't have enough police to enforce the current laws. You see windows tinted too dark, loud exhaust systems, wheel spinners reaching out more than 3 inches from the wheel well, and don't get me started on those plastic covers for license plates. In Washington, Representative Angie Craig has some ideas about how to restore faith in Congress. For starters, she feels no one should get too comfortable. She wants to keep her colleagues from flying in first class and in their glide paths to K Street where all the lobbyists are. She's proposing a lifetime ban on lobbying. Of course, it hasn't caught on, but, she says we'll see what kind of reform-minded people are in Congress in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, but we just can't sit idly by and allow the reputation of Congress to stay in the gutter. Angie, it can't get much lower. She says it's not just about distancing herself from party leadership in a potentially tough election year. She began calling for a ban on members owning individual stocks back in 2019. I'll be back with more of episode 38 of KRP in just a moment. I'd like to take this time to tell you about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, I should tell you, it is free. That's right, just free. There are creation tools there that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, obviously, Apple and Pocket Cast, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. Right, Anchor.fm. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started today.
This is KRP, Ken's Random Podcast.
Welcome back. From the What is Going On with This World department, we get this weird story. A woman named Erica says she's physically attracted to a wooden fence. Like we don't have enough confusion with people identifying as sexes they were not born with, we get this attention-grabbing nutcase, Erica. She identifies as an objectum sexual or OS, which means she's romantically and sexually attracted to inanimate objects. A word of caution, Erica. Be mindful of splinters. And now let's talk about bat parking lots. What is a bat parking lot, you ask? Remember when parking garages began having slots that were labeled for compact cars? I propose that parking lots be constructed for bats, big-ass trucks. I'm amazed at the number of jacked-up large pickup trucks that are making parking lots and parking garages dangerous to all drivers. You can't see squat when you attempt to back out of a parking slot, and many times the trucks are so long their rear ends are obstacles for drivers to dodge while looking for a parking slot. Maybe as a start for parking garages, certain floors could be designated as bat parking areas, while other floors would be void of those bats. Thanks for joining me today for episode 38 of KRP. If you discover the podcast on Facebook, please hit the share button before leaving. You can also find KRP on Pocket Cast, Apple, Google, and many other platforms that present KRP worldwide.
This is KRP, Ken's Random Podcast.